Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Tolhurst and welcome to a very special video today on Motormania. Yes, today guys is a launch of another video on the channel. Yes, a YouTube series. This is an information style video today. We're going to talk about cars today actually. I'm going to talk about a Ford today. This video is going to be talking about the Ford Capri. And I'm going to be talking to you guys about what made the Ford Capri an iconic car for British and European motorists. Now, the Capri has always been a car that has had an interesting history. I'm going to come on to the newer Ford Capri later in the video, but I just want to quickly talk to you about why this car was iconic as well. Now, the car launched back in 1969 and was unveiled in November of 1968. And in 1969, Brussels Motor Show was where the car officially made its debut. And yes, the Capri was an iconic car for Ford. And you know what? This car certainly had a very interesting history. Around it, it was known as the European Mustang. It had a very similar design cue to the Mustang. Obviously, that's the car that's famous in America. We'll be doing a video in a later date about the Mustang and what I think about Shelby as well. Shelby Powertrain. Shelby, of course, the company that took these Mustangs. And talk to you about should we be tuning Mustangs. But the main thing of this video is the Capri. Now, in 1969, Ford launched the Capri, and it was an important car for the company. It was meant to be a GT car slash sports car at the time to really fit into a very growing market in the UK. This was like Ford entering a new market for themselves, and also this kind of coupe style market that we were seeing some car companies at the time try out. Aston Martin Vantage obviously came later on in the 70s. And late 60s. So, late 60s, early 70s, we saw the Aston Martin Vantage become a very popular car. So this was Ford's answer to it. It wasn't as fast, wasn't as powerful as the Aston, but it offered buyers an option of more in terms of an executive car, I suppose. Now, in terms of the engines, the original car was a V4. It had a 1.3, a 1.5 and 1.7 litre engine. 2 litre. There was also a 2 litre British built Cologne V6, which served as the initial range toppers. Then in September of 1969, the 3000 GT came out with the classic Essex V6, which was the engine that was built down in Dagenham Fords at the time, where the Ford plant was, and that had 138 brake horsepower. As well. The Mark I Cortina at the time had, a very iconic look to it. And obviously only had a 4-speed manual gearbox. It was kind of designed based on a 66 Cortina. The running gear was very similar. And there was also a Piranha version as well, which was sold in America, and that came with a 5 litre Windsor V8. So, it certainly had its share of engines. Obviously, the 3 litre version was the Dagenham built engine as well. And, yeah, it was a very interesting car, this car. It also took part in the European Touring Car Championship as well in the 1971 with the Capri RS2 6000 as well. It featured a 2.6 litre engine as well. I think it was a V6, I'm pretty sure, as well. It also featured double barrel carburetors as well. And there was also a Capri Special. And then in 1974, the Capri 2 was launched. Now, the Capri 2 featured more powerful engines. The V6 was kept. 2 V6s, in fact, were available. The Cologne built one, the lighter of the 2 engines. And also the standard Dagenham as well. In 1975, in black or white versions of the car. There was also a John Player Special Capri as well. It featured yards of gold pinstriping to mimic Formula 1 livery of the gold-coloured wheels and upgraded bespoke orange or beige interior, were trimmed with black carpet. And obviously, you know, Ford did increase gear models as well as other models in the range, as the 3-litre GT models started to seize out. And also as well, in that advert, you might have known the advertisement to Jackie Stewart was also pictured on an advertisement for the Capri 2, in which he spoke about the car. Now, Jackie Stewart was an iconic car, a motorsport driver, was a multiple F1 world champion, and I think he was part of this advertisement at the time for the Ford Capri, you know, and the advert for the Capri certainly had its fair share. Have a listen to this advert of Jackie Stewart in a Capri. This is the Capri Mark II we're referring to here.
Capri 2, a beautiful new car, a practical new car. And here to tell you about it are two people who know a bit about cars.
You know, I've stopped racing, but I'm still impressed by exciting cars, like Ford's brand new Capri 2. It's got a new rear door that makes loading easy. It's beautiful. And both rear seats fold down for 100% more luggage space. There are new reclining front seats and a new heated rear window in my GT. Beautiful. Capri 2 also has wider rear track for better road holding and handling, and a choice of proven engines. Try Capri 2 yourself. It's a great car. You'll never want to get out of the driving seat. Beautiful.
Ford Capri 2, a beautiful new shape full of practical new ideas.
Yes, that was the advert there. Obviously, Jackie Stewart's one was a GT, so it was the most powerful version of it. Yeah, that car was iconic in a way because, you know, it was the most powerful version of the Capri at the time. Obviously, the most higher trimmed. Obviously, they did make GXLs as well for the Capri. Obviously, higher engines, more powerful engines, higher trim levels. So it was very iconic. I think Mark 1 and Mark 2 Capris were GXLs. Then came, of course, the big change in 1978 with the addition of the final generation, the third little Capri. It was more of an update of the Capri 2. And it obviously featured a similar front end to the Escort RS2000 as well. But yeah, it was an interesting car. And at the time, you know, Ford decided to make a car called the 2.8 injection. And yes, a 2.8 litre V6 was built in. It was called a 2.8 injection. The Capri 2.8 injection was an important car for the company at the time. You know, a car that had about 150 PS. About something like 140 brake horsepower roughly. 0 to 60 was in about 7 or 8 seconds. And it had 130 miles an hour of top speed. The Capri 2.8 injection was actually a huge car for Ford back in the day, actually, because this was the first ever Ford to feature a fuel-injected engine instead of carburetors. Obviously, fuel injection basically helps with, with like filtering out, stops them getting clogged up. It stops like attracting dust into the engine. Basically, it helps the engine run more reliably, in other words. As well. So the fuel injection, it's basically to help like pull the fuel and air mixture through the engine into the combustion chamber, in other words. And yeah, it was very powerful. 130 miles an hour. James May obviously drove one on Top Gear when they went to the French Alps to do some racing there, in like some old classic cars at the time. But yes, the Capri 2.8 injection was certainly an iconic car for Ford as well. Obviously, that was a newer engine. In America, it was also called the Mercury Capri and had that the different engine. The V6 from Cologne was still in there. But that was obviously the Capri's main important highlight of that range. Then we also had the 280 turbo as well. That could do 137 miles an hour. There was also a Zack Speed Capri as well. Left-hand drive only. Versa turbo model capable of 137 miles an hour. There was also a tick-filled turbo Capri as well. That used a 2.8 litre Cologne engine with 205 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds, 0 to 118, 137 miles an hour. Top speed also featured interior fully optional leather retrim with Wilton carpeting headlining, large rear spoiler, colour-coded seats. Also had rear disc brakes as standard. Only sold 80 units. There was also a laser version as well, and of course the 280, nicknamed Brooklands, would be the final version of the Capri to launch. So, yes, the Capri was certainly a very interesting car. Obviously, it ceased production into the 1980s. It was 1986 it officially ended of this car. Now, the Ford Capri is an iconic car. You know, I love this car. I think that the Capri is one of the most sought after Fords of all time. It is the first car the company made to have fuel injections. It was a huge technical revolution for the company when they brought the 2.8 injection out in the early 80s. Now, the original Ford Capri, which is mainly what this video is about, shows you that British motoring, particularly on the grounds of a Mustang built for the UK, were certainly very impressive. And you know, my granddad actually worked on a lot of these old Fords because he used to work at Dagenham. He used to make the engines for these, so he would have been at the helm of making these iconic 2.6 litre V6s at the time. The Cologne engines, also, you know, the 3 litre Essex V6 as well. On the earlier Capris, he was also responsible for that. The other thing as well that I want to mention about is there is also a brand new Capri that Ford have unveiled as well. It is a crossover. I'm afraid it's not the original coupe-styled car that Ford obviously revealed in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. So it's very interesting to see how the new Capri is going to drive. Obviously, it is electric. It's not petrol like it used to be, petrol diesel. So it is a shame. However, though, the purpose of this video is to concentrate on the original car. And I think the original car will definitely have a lot to be lived for. And I think this is one of those classics that has gone but never forgotten. And also as well, this car came in so many different colours. People used to always, you know, it was one thing. A lot of people used to have this thing called the green Capri. They used to always see a green Capri go out their door. Like, the green Capri was actually an iconic name, because that was actually at the time, you know, a very iconic colour for the car. You know, green Capris were very iconic colours. You could get this car in like crystal green, metallic green, as well. You could also get this car in like a classic blue colour. Green metallic was a very popular paint on 2.8 turbos as well. So yeah, it was certainly an interesting car. But I do prefer a dark blue on this car. I think that certainly adds a bit of trend to the colour. But that's my video today, guys, on the Ford Capri. Today, going through a little overview of this car. And if you've owned a Ford Capri, let me know down in the comments what went wrong with the car. What was it like to own? Did you enjoy driving it? Because trust me, you know, the tick-filled Capris were very fast. So the 280 Specials, you know, they were the last ones of the Capris built, and they were certainly more powerful as well. You know, the more powerful versions. So yeah, certainly very interesting. Please comment down in the video what you make. That's it for this video, guys. Please like and subscribe to the Chaz Squash YouTube channel. Alert you when new videos get uploaded. Thanks so much for watching. Take care and good night.